Okay, so there's something happening right now. In the news, we see that what happened in Staten Island and what happened in Missouri, police brutality, and people think it's racism. So I want to talk about this because we know what happened, but what is the solution? What is the solution? And this is something that I want everybody to know for education purposes. Because if we understand this, we won't just solve the police brutality. We'll solve pretty much everything, because it just happens to do that the solution for this is a solution for a lot of things, for everything. So I'm gonna make this really simple. What happened is that it's psychological. This problem is psychological. And then there's a lot of things, but mainly two things that I want to talk about. It's called disrespect. That a cop can get disrespected easily. They put themselves in danger, bad areas, with the people who make the bad areas bad. So, they get a lot of disrespect, and that's very important. If that stuff gets over their head, they're gonna do more than putting that person in jail. So, disrespect is one, but here's the most important. Common sense, that's not really the word. Righteousness, that's the word. Good heart. So having a good heart and understanding, wisdom and disrespect. Wisdom, because they could be an arrogant person, an arrogant cop. That he's not a cop to take the trash out of the street. He's probably a cop because he wants to get paid, or maybe he likes walking around with a gun. Literally. Maybe he's proud of it. Maybe he's like a tough guy and he's like, okay, now I'm the cop now. And I'm getting paid for this. So that's probably why they're a cop. Not necessarily to do the right thing. And the other one, disrespect, is also important, because even if you're a cop and you want to help people, you wanna make the world a safer place, then you run a big risk. Still, you can go from that to somebody telling you something really disrespectful, and now you're not thinking about the innocent people that you could help. This person's not even innocent. So you will take it out on him and do more than handcuff him. You'll do way more than that if you let disrespect. So let me cover disrespect really fast. If you're a normal person and you walk into, normally this goes for everybody. Pretend like, I don't know if you're gonna be able to understand this if you're like 12 years old, or maybe a elderly person. But from my point of view, a male who's in his 20s, you would understand this very well. Okay, so if you go to a store and you're in a bad area and you're trying to get money out of the ATM, and some guy, ghetto guy, walks in and he's like, hey, give me $10 out of it. Just think about that. Just think about that. It's not the $10, okay? $10 is nothing. It's not the money. It's, why are you gonna tell me what to do and take the money from me? You're gonna tell me what to do? I don't have to do it. And now that's a problem, because it's a bad neighborhood, and if you don't do it, that's a fight. You're gonna get into a fight. So, that right there, if you think about it, that's not disrespect. That's more than disrespect. And that's not even a fight. That's more than a fight. Because that's like, you can't just tell somebody what to do just like that. That's a big deal. That's a problem. So, okay, so to solve these issues, you are basically, you need to have a good heart, and not just have a good heart, because a lot of people have a good heart but get disrespected easy. So believe me, this respect is so strong that you can be one of the nicest people in the world. Actually, you might be the nicest person in the world, and the respect can get to a point where it can mess with your head really bad, and you can do something crazy. So okay, just to cover this, make it really fast. This is a quick video. I'm not putting too much effort in this one. In this video, I just want to say what I believe, because this solves a problem. Disrespect. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the other one. Having a good heart. Okay, just like respect, having a good heart, you need to be able to do the right thing in situations. But the thing is this, with respect, it's very, very simple. Respect, you need to have understanding and have a good heart and understanding. You need to understand that people can say whatever they want. If some guy walks inside the store and tells me, hey, give me $10 out of there, I'm not gonna fight him. Okay, if you're wise, you're not gonna fight the person. You're gonna say, you can say, you don't have to give him the money. You don't have to do that. You can say, are you asking me the question? Is that a question? You can tell him that. Is that a question? And if he says yes, it's a question, then you say, well, I don't have money. Maybe it's possible that he probably said it the wrong way and he wasn't trying to be disrespectful. But most likely, somebody does that, they're about to rob you. So you tell them, are you asking me? Is that a question? That's rude. You tell him that's rude. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I'm just thinking about that right now. I'm in the spot right now. I'm thinking about this. What I would say in that situation is tell him straight up, that's rude. Now you guys might think, Moses, why? You know, I'm not gonna punch the person in the face or anything like that, because there's no wisdom in that. You see, whatever people say, it's just talking. They're not gonna do anything. You would be the bad guy if you punch somebody that tells you that, because he probably doesn't even know how to fight. Not just that, he's probably not even trying to fight. He probably thinks you're not from there, because most likely people who in a bad neighborhood, they know you're not from there. They see the car you drive, they see the way you talk. You don't talk like you're from the hood, you know, and they think they can literally go up to you and be like, give me money, and you're gonna give them money without even threatening you. Just the fact that you're in the hood and they're from there is already a threat, and they know. So you know, he's probably not gonna fight. He probably can't fight. You know, most people can't fight. They are not boxers or anything. They don't take classes or anything. So you'll be a bad person if you fight that guy, because you could win. You could win really easily. So what I would do is tell him, you shouldn't do that. I would treat him like if I was his teacher. Why? Because he can learn something, and I'll tell him that's rude. You can't just go up to somebody and tell them, give me money. I'll tell him that right there. And if he says sorry, well, there you go. He probably went home that day saying, you know what I'm doing is wrong. This guy told me that I'm wrong. I can't threaten people, and that's right. I shouldn't do that. I gotta change. He might change, okay? And what if he says, I don't care, give me money? Okay, then that's already a fight, and that couldn't even be prevented, okay, from the beginning. And that is the perfect opportunity to not fight him, to call the cops. Because if you fight him, then you might go to jail also. You might. And what if you lose? He went off, and that's it. That's the end of that. And if you win, you probably don't want to call the cops, because to be honest, I don't even know. You might go to jail for that. So the best thing to do is to be like, okay, and call the police, and then tell the police where he went or what happened. and don't give him the money, unless he has a gun pointing at your head. Okay, so now having a good heart is also very important, because police, what happens is that cops, there's this mentality that once you go to your job and you put on your uniform and put on your gun and the badge, the whole thing, you think everybody's a threat. Your job is to have safety in the society. Safety in society. Your job is to make sure everybody's okay. So you're armed, you got a gun, you have a radio that you can call backup. So you got a big team working with you. Anything were to happen, you don't just have people at land. You have people in the air. You see, it's a big organization, the police. So your job is to make sure nothing happens, everything is safe. And you kind of think that everybody is a threat, and that's wrong. Everybody's not a threat. Let me give you guys an explanation. Let me give you guys an example. So, in New York, I would walk around and I'll see a cop in the subways. And cops are in the subways. Actually, in New York, you see a lot of, in some subways, like maybe in maybe right there in the center, like in Times Square, where everything's at. Right there, you're gonna see a lot of times not normal cops with a gun. You're gonna see either cops dressed in a normal police uniform but with a rifle, or you're gonna see people who look like they just came from the military in camouflage clothing with a rifle, with bulletproof vests for like big weapons. You're gonna see them guarding that because of terrorism or something. That could happen in the subways. So they're taking care of things, and I don't disagree with that. But you are gonna be scared to approach those police because they're just right there, standing, right there, with their hands crossed, with their sunglasses, right there. There's like 10 guys there, just right there in the corner with rifles, ready for action. That's exactly what you're gonna see, and you're gonna be kind of scared to approach them. You think you're going to jail for no reason. And not just that, I see them, and I wasn't raised in New York. I asked them a question. Okay, do you know where this is at? And I approached them, and they're not very friendly at all. They're not like, oh, let me help you. Where do you need to go? They don't say that. They look at you, and they're like, do you know? We don't know. That's what they say. I don't know. They might even know and say I don't know, because some questions were obvious. But besides that, the problem is that they're not being friendly. They're not being like, oh, let me help you. And that right there, that's a psychological thing in their minds that let's not that we don't have to help people. We're here just to do our job, and that's it, and go home. And that's being rude. It's that simple. That's called being rude. And if like I'm not making predictions, they probably don't know, probably. But what I'm saying is that it's not easy to talk to them. It's not easy to talk to them. They're not going to try to help you, because I talk to other cops and they're normal. Somebody asks me for directions and I tell them, hey, it's over there. I go out of my way to help people. Okay, they don't even talk. Some of them don't even talk. And it's like you're talking to a robot. And the robot's not understanding what you're saying. And then other cops that I'll talk, they'll be really, really friendly. Here, let me help you. But it's like if they think they can't help you, because it is a thing. They think they can't help you because they're doing their job. They think their job is only to stop criminals, and you don't look like a criminal. You're just gonna ask me for directions? Okay, get out of my way. I'm working here. That's exactly what they're thinking. So, the way to stop this is by teaching police that we need to be nice. Our job is to make sure everybody's safe, but we gotta make sure the people who are breaking the law are safe too, because they picture everybody as civilians and criminals. Two different things. The truth is, civilians are criminals also. You don't know how many times people jump over the little things in the trains, and they don't pay. Everybody's a criminal. Everybody breaks the law in the highway. Nobody goes at the speed limit. At least where I'm from in Florida, nobody goes at the speed limit. The speed limit says 45 and everybody's going at 50, 55. Easily. Not just that. Police officers will be behind you and they'll go to the other lane and pass you because you're going too slow. You're going at the speed limit. Nobody goes to the speed limit. You're not going to get a ticket unless you go I'll say at least 15 miles an hour over the speed limit. Maybe 10. But they're not going to stop you if you're going at 10 miles per hour over. Most likely that would never happen. That's not common at all. So that's the problem. We need to be nicer and we need to have more understanding, because what I just said about the disrespect, most people wouldn't do that. Ask yourself this question. What would you do if somebody approached you in a little store saying, give me $10, while you're getting money out of the ATM? No, what if somebody just like that walks up to you and says, hey, give me $10 right now? Just like that. In a bad neighborhood, that means a fight. It's really simple. You're not gonna debate that. You're not gonna get into a big argument saying, I'm gonna sue you. No, the guy, most likely, in a bad neighborhood, the guy who's saying that to you doesn't care if you're gonna sue him. That guy's gonna beat you up, get the money, and run away. That's what he's gonna do. He might even kill you. If you disrespect a guy like that people like that don't have common sense. They're about to rob an innocent person in the street. Get me $10 out of there. Nobody's gonna do that. Nobody with a right mind is gonna do that. Unless you're being threatened. Nobody's gonna do that. I would never do that. Who's gonna go to a random person and be like, give me $10? So there you go. If somebody does that, that means they are not good people. They're capable of killing you also. So right there, that's violence. Straight up violence. There's no attorney, nothing. Okay, so what will you do if that happened? What will you do? What will you do in situations like that? You see, you might act aggressive. You might punch him in the face. Okay, pretend there's a little bit disrespect, not that extreme. Somebody walking up to you and saying, hey, I want $10 now. That is really, really crazy. Usually people don't rob people like that. Usually people will rob like this. This is what happens in the street. This is what happens in bad areas. This is how people rob people. They don't go up to you just like that saying, give me money. I mean, people who do that, then you might as well give them the money, because they probably have a gun on them, because that's not normal. Usually they'll be like, hey, I want to make a phone call. Could I use your phone? You give them your phone, they might not give it back. And then you go and try to get your phone back, and they're like, I don't have your phone. They might even tell you, I gave it to a friend and he just didn't came back. They might tell you that. That's how they rob people. That's how you just had your phone robbed. And from that point on, it's up to you what way you wanna solve that issue. Okay, so people don't really rob like that. People wait until you leave your house. They've been watching you for a long time. They don't know nobody lives there, just you, or everybody who lives there is gone. They probably send a friend over, knocked on your door and say, hi sir, they probably just want to pretend they're selling you something or something, just to get information from you. What are you going to do that day? Once you leave, they break the door, whatever, they just go in. They need to get in as fast as possible, get everything out, and leave. Then when you come home, there's nothing there. People are not gonna get a team, armed people, break the door at the middle of the night, say everybody down, and steal everything. They're gonna do it without people noticing, because at least they have something in their hearts. You know, at least they're not, they could be worse, you know. They could do it way worse. They could shoot you, kill you, and steal from you. So they actually have some good in them, and they try to avoid violence, but they rob you either way. So that's how people do it. How would you solve situations like that? You know, you probably don't know. Answer the question. Do you know how to solve situations the right way? You probably know how to solve situations, but that might not be the right way. And you see, doing things right is so important that you can probably hurt somebody, especially in a bad area. Because I've been robbed before. You know, who wants to go to live in a bad neighborhood? Who? It's unnecessary. The hood is, it's just, man, you go to a store and you see a bunch of people outside. You know, what are they doing? You want to know what they're doing? They're not just hanging out with their friends. They're probably talking about, you know, that person has a lot of money. Let's rob them. They're probably thinking about that. You know, and when you open, I seen people open their wallets and people be like, what? How much money is in there? You know, that's how crazy it is. Who wants to live in a bad neighborhood? Like, I get angry, really angry, because I hate that. Like, literally, if I go to a store and I'm always, whenever I'm in a bad area and I go to any little store, stuff happens in stores constantly. They rob, they don't have any money, they're poor people. Where do they hang out? In the gas station. Where do they hang out? In the dollar store. You know, because they don't have the resources, and it gets me so mad because I'm expecting them to rob somebody. You know, I'm expecting them to rob somebody in that store. Why? Because people who go there have money, you know, and they're just waiting for the moment to steal. And I will get involved in it. I see somebody stealing, robbing from somebody, being rude to somebody, I'll stand up for them, even if I don't even know them. You know, at least I'll call the cops. Minimum I'll do is do that. Always. I always do that. Man, I saw a lady in McDonald's with her face, with bruises in her face. I walked outside, I see two guys that she was gonna see. I called the cops. I told the cops everything, where they were. Why? Because there's so many things that happen in this world, so much violence, man, and nobody does anything about it, you know? And, you see, cops are not the problem. We humans are the problem. We humans are the problem because, think about it, most cops, you know, like, I'm not even sure, but I think most cops are white. Most cops are not raised in a bad neighborhood, in a bad area, because it's like they're two different worlds. When you're in a bad neighborhood, it's like you left planet Earth. You're in Mars now, because everything's violence. Everything. At least in the bad areas that I've been. How it is, it's just violence everywhere. You know, I mean, you're not gonna see people fighting constantly, but you're gonna see this constantly. You're gonna go to a store, and two guys are just gonna look at each other like, he's not gonna do nothing. That's what they're thinking. You know, you go to a bar, and you see, okay, you go to a bar that's not in a bad neighborhood, they're not gonna check you. They might not even ask you for your ID. You don't even have to show them an ID, or you might. Okay, in bad areas, they check you. Your whole body, make sure you don't have weapons inside, and then you can go inside. That's how it is. Why? Because it's just violence. And what people in a good neighborhood, if they look at you and they don't like you, it's probably envy, jealousy, you know, those type of things, but they're not gonna hurt. In a bad neighborhood, what are they thinking? They're thinking this. This is exactly what's going in their mind. This guy's not gonna do anything. He's too scared. He's not a man. You know, I'm not gonna waste my time with that guy. That's how they're thinking. It's all about fighting. So, you know, you gotta understand that, at least to me, what I'm thinking, and this is just a theory, I think that if you're a cop and you're not used to that type of lifestyle, it doesn't even matter if you're not used to it. Even if you're used to it, bad areas. If you're a cop and you're working in a bad areas, and your job is to stop the people who make those areas bad in the first place, then you're gonna get a lot of disrespect. And the thing is that you can take it on you. So what's the way to solve this problem? To finish this whole video. This video has been longer than what I thought. To finish the whole thing and make it really simple. Okay, well, to make it simple, the way to solve this is to have a good heart, care about people, and know how to solve situations. And cops are not nice. Not all of them. We all gotta be nice people. If somebody asks you a question, answer the question. Don't be rude. Don't be rude and be like, I don't need to answer you. Yes, you do. If somebody asks you a question, you need to answer the question if you know it. Why? Because your job, not as a cop, your job as a human being is to help others. And this is very simple. If you don't help people, you're a bad person. You're a bad person if you see somebody that's gonna get run over by a car and you don't. If there's somebody in the floor in the middle of the street, pretend they're crazy or something, and you see a car speeding, and that car you see is gonna hit them. If you don't even yell or scream or do anything, you're a murderer. Why? Because you had the opportunity. Pretend you had the opportunity to save them. You had time, and you didn't took it. You let that person die. And that's your fault. You see, our job as humans is to care for others. Treat people the same way we treat each other. Help people. That is not an option. Because you might be saying, well, I'm not hurting anybody. As long as I'm not hurting anybody, I don't need to do it. But you see, those things are not options. Our job as a humanity is to help people. That's our job. If you see something happening to somebody, you need to go out of your way to solve the problem. That's our obligation to do things. So the bottom line with things is that let's not be rude. If somebody, like this little example that I said, asks you for directions, if you don't know the direction, of course, say I don't know. Alright. Actually, if you're in a hurry and you got somewhere to go, and it's very simple. If the place that you need to go is more important than answering that question, then you can tell them this: I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry, I gotta go. And you left. That's not rude. Where you needed to go was more important. But if answering the question was more important, maybe where you needed to go wasn't an emergency because the person can ask anybody else. It's not important. You don't have to answer the question because there's so many people. Most likely the guy's gonna walk away with the right direction, asking somebody else. But if you are not even in a hurry or anything like that, be like, hey, yes, I know. It's over there. You take this street, and you get there. If you don't know, of course, you can leave. But, a lot of times it's very important. A lot of times, like, people are taking the bus. Somebody could be like, I'm in a hurry. Can you please tell me? Or nobody seems to know where this place is. It can be important if somebody's asking for directions. Something as simple as that. You see, but the way we solve problems is saying what is more important. Me, my situation, or their situation. If their situation is more important, we need to help them if we can. If we're able to, then we need to help them. That's the right thing to do in situations. At least in that situation, that's the right thing to do. We need to go out of our way to help people, and the problem is that we humans think that helping people is important, but not that important. And we constantly focus in things that are not going to get us anywhere. We focus in the things in the media, TV, music, all those things. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. I'm just saying that we as a society think that helping ourselves is what we live for. And it's true. Helping ourselves, being happy is the reason for life. It's simple. To be happy. Get what you need in life. Get married. Enjoy your life. But there's a little problem. There's one little problem. It's not like that, at least not anymore. It can't be like that. Why? Because other humans are suffering. And as long as other people are suffering, we need to go out of our way. Once there isn't any problems in the world, then you can focus on yourself all you want. Don't focus on anybody. Don't care about anybody. Why? Because nobody has problems. There's no reason to care for other people. But, there you can actually do what we're made for. Be happy. But as long as there's people not just around you, there's still people in general suffering. Our duty as a humanity is to help them. It's to solve problems. And you see, the day cops understand that, it's the day that these police brutality will stop. Not just that, also racism that people talk about. But since I'm not an expert in racism, I don't really see the racism there is. But the problem is in our minds. We need to be better people.